This is the Vortex POK3R. It's a 60% form factor keyboard, meaning that it only uses the main body of keys. To some people, this is a deal breaker, however it's much easier than you'd think to adjust. A dedicated numpad isn't necessary. I personally only use it to enter phone and card numbers, which I don't use often, and they're saved in Chrome anyway, so it's little to no compromise. The arrow keys unfortunately have been moved from the previous model. The POK3R had arrow keys on W, A, S and D, which are very easy to find for my gamer hands. For people who don't play games often, I, J, K and L may be easier to adjust, but for me, where W, A, S and D is the default location for my fingers, it's just hard to not use them. The positions of keys in the function layer are printed on the front of the stock keycaps, but it's worth noting that most aftermarket sets aren't going to include these. This could be a bit of a challenge for those of you who are really struggling to find print screen after you've changed your keycaps to something a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. I've adapted well to the keyboard, however where I learn most shortcuts by their shape, it's hard to remember those that I just rely on in normal use. The build quality is incredibly solid. The POK3R uses genuine Cherry MX switches along with nice thick PBT keycaps, preventing the shine you'd find on those made of ABS. It is worth noting though that the backlit model does use ABS caps, so you will find the shine over time. The keyboard comes in both white and greyish black variants with backlit models of each. The case has a nice weight to it due to its aluminium construction, giving the entire keyboard a solid feel, weighing in at about 750 grams. The case is also flush with the plate, giving a floating key look similar to other boards such as the Corsair K70. In the box you get the keyboard and either a black or white cable depending on your model, however unfortunately that is all. You get a manual written in Chinese that I cannot read for obvious reasons, and unfortunately Vortex no longer includes the RGB modifiers or the key puller that were included in the box with the POK3R. The cable included is a decent length, but the standard mini USB connector means you can switch it out to your preferred cable. Now the most astonishing thing about this keyboard is its size. As a Counter-Strike player, I can always do with some extra room on my desk for my mouse. The removal of the number pad and the arrows doesn't affect me that much in Counter-Strike, as it doesn't really depend on them. For more complicated tasks such as editing with Vegas or Photoshop, I haven't found much difference working with a 60% keyboard, with the exception of a few shortcuts. Another benefit of the POK3R is its programmable layers. The keyboard has 3 additional programming layers on every, and I mean every, key. The programming is stored to the keyboard itself, and so any macros or inputs you attach to keys will be saved no matter where you plug it in. So for editing on the fly, I could store all my shortcuts in layer 2 and they'd be right there on my laptop when I plug it in. I was concerned originally that having a white keyboard would lead to a slight discoloration over time. However, after roughly a month of use, it still looks as clean as it came in. It could still happen over time. However, as long as you stay away from pools of mud or Cheetos, you should be fine. For the switches, you have the option of most MX switches. I opted for a model with greens, but Vortex carry pretty much every switch type, except for grey and milk white for what I can find. The keyboard uses an otherwise standard 60% layout with cherry style stabilizers, so almost every aftermarket set should fit this keyboard fine. It currently retails for around £90 or about $120 in the US, depending on your choice of switch and backlighting option. It's usually available on Amazon through various sellers, and it's also available occasionally on Massdrop. I'll link to both of them in the description. Anyway, that is it for this video. It's been fun doing something different for a change. I hope you enjoyed it. Give me one of those up thumbs if you enjoyed, subscribe if you like, and I will catch you in the next one.